Greek mythology tells us that Icarus flew too close to the sun. The sun melted the wax that held his wings together, and he fell into the sea and died. The story is told to convince humans that they should not be too ambitious, and in particular, they shouldn't try to fly. In the late 1800s, the leading physicist of the time was named Lord Kelvin, and he said that humans would only be able to fly in balloons. Fortunately, Wilbur Wright was not a student of Greek mythology and did not do much reading of the words of Lord Kelvin. Instead, he was an innovator along with his brother in bicycles and decided that he was going to attempt to learn to fly. He and his brother used some of their funds from their little bicycle shop, and every summer for a few years they went out to Kitty Hawk and they experimented, trial and error. Wilbur watched the birds. The conditions there were very harsh. Swarms of mosquitoes, heat, winds blowing their tents. But Orville reported that this was among the happiest times of their lives. And eventually they succeeded. Other people tried, and they spent some time in the air. The problem wasn't getting airborne so much as it was landing in a controlled way. And that's what Wilbur figured out how to do. The government spent a lot of money, for instance, subsidizing a guy named Langley, who crashed into the Potomac. When Wilbur succeeded, he demonstrated flight by flying over Manhattan for the first time. And they say that nearly 1 million people came into the streets cheering. At some point, he changed direction near the end of his flight, and someone in the crowd yelled, "He's headed for Jersey." But he wasn't headed for Jersey. Wilbur wanted to fly over the harbor to give a nod to the Statue of Liberty before he landed. I wanted to use this photo for the cover of my book, but the press vetoed that idea. The photo is too old and too grimy. But old photos can be cleaned, and economic systems can be cleaned up too. If we let them, innovative entrepreneurs can once again bring us great breakthroughs. We need to remember occasionally to give a nod to liberty.